Hello and welcome to DCP Live, episode number 222. Welcome.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Hi.
Hello.
Good.
Dan, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing well. Glad to be here.
Nice, man. We were just talking on the pre-show a little about Resident Evil and
Yes.
the excitement of a new Resident Evil and getting that info, which was really cool.
You guys ready for some Resident Evil multiplayer?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Keep trying to make that
It's
happen.
free.
Really?
It's free with the village. So
Okay.
you get to play as like Chris and Jill and Claire. You get to play as
You
all your
can't be the
favorites.
vampire lady. What's the point?
Maybe you can't. Maybe they were holding that close to their
You're a
chest.
secret character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
DLC
Secret
Yeah.
character.
You're like,
Secret
you're like,
character
you're like
unlocked.
Jaws and Goldeneye. You're just like 2 heads taller than everybody and much bigger target.
Oh my goodness, that'd be wild. Yeah. So it's January. Things are going right.
It's January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is January.
Dan, how's things with you?
Not too bad, like we were talking earlier, trying to stay warm in a climate that I am not used to.
Right.
Like normally it's about 70-ish degrees in Alabama and staying about 20 or 30 lower. So I
Wow.
don't have the what
So
is
at
the word?
50 degrees.
I'm not used to it.
Constitution.
The incubation. You
Nope.
don't have the
Incubation.
None of that. So
Do you got to put a parka on? Get some beanie gloves.
see, the thing is, here we don't really sell that stuff.
Amazon.
So
Next day
Amazon and
delivery.
things
Right?
like that is what I have to go to. Yep. So I'm spending a lot of time buying winter clothes for 1 month.
Fair enough. That way,
Yeah.
if it ever gets cold again, or you go somewhere else that's cold, you'll be covered. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
There you go.
And then I just put it in just storage for 11 months.
Mm-hmm. That's how most winter clothes is. It's maybe not in other places, but
Yeah.
On the Midwest. That's like 8 months of the year.
But other than that, I'm good.
Nice. How so we always like to talk about like how you got started in streaming and all that stuff on the show when new people join. So how'd you get started streaming?
What's your story?
Yeah, what's
My
your origin story?
Man, so long ago. 2014,
Nice.
Thanksgiving. I remember I built my first PC.
Oh wow.
And I was like, I'm going to try to stream. Because I had originally tried streaming on a laptop I had with a Hop PVR2.
Okay.
Yeah. The old school stuff.
What was the
The
first
old
game
school.
that you streamed?
I tried streaming Gears of War 2.
Try.
I got 10 frames. My laptop overheated. And I was like, well, I'll try again in the future. And then I was like, I'm gonna try again, because the 10 frames was kind of cool, but maybe I can get a little bit better
It
out
was
of
stylistic.
that. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was an art form, if anything else.
Yeah.
So I built my first computer, like an i5, and
In
the first
2014.
game I actually streamed. That was like a 4690K. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And the first game I remember streaming was Five Nights at Freddy.
Oh.
Nice.
And the only reason I even streamed was because some IRL friends wanted to just watch me get scared.
Understandable.
And so I was like, because we didn't have all the screen share stuff then.
Mhm.
So the only way for me to do it was to just stream. And I was like, sure, I just built a PC. I'll stream. I'm trying to get into PC gaming. I will stream for you and you can watch. And then my 3 friends became 15 people. And I was like, this is pretty cool. I'll try it again. And then, once a week became 2 a week. And then 2 a week became 3 a week. And then before you know it, you got a schedule.
There you go. Yeah.
And that's kind of how it started. And like the first time I started to build a community was when I started streaming Borderlands 2.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's where I started,
pick.
and I spent a whole lot of time at this one boss farming this very, very rare item,
Which boss?
and it took me like 10 months to get. It was called the Sham. It was like a shield,
Oh yeah, the sham. Yeah.
very rare, the bunker
Yep.
sham. That's
The
kind of
was
what I was
it
known for,
98%?
if you will. It was a 94% sham.
94%. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like it had a very, 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 very low drop chance to get the weapon, or get the shield,
Yeah.
and then it was even lower to get the perfect one.
I've
So it's kind of where I spent a
I've-
whole lot of time.
Did you get it?
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
But like I said, it took about 10 months of.
Oh my god.
I've farmed for it
This is,
before.
this is what Destiny needs. 10 months dedicated farm.
Yeah.
Can
so
you
like
imagine?
Something.
yeah. So
Yeah, just getting one sham to drop from that boss is really low, and then to get the
Mhm.
perfect sham is just like time.
I got, I think, 93% before I got 90.
Oh my god.
So I think I remember when I finally like record, like I cut it from Twitch for the video for like YouTube and archival purposes. I remember writing, it took me about 4,000 runs and 193 shams, something like that. I remember keeping
Dear
track.
Lord.
4,000 runs, 193 shams dropped, and one of them was
Over
the
10
perfect
months.
one.
Yep.
Over
only
10
one.
months. Damn, that's some
Yep.
statistics
Dear
right there.
Lord.
That's wild.
So that's kind of how it started, and then after that, I kind of started moving into variety. But I spent most of my time playing like Division and Destiny, because right after that happened was when right when the sham dropped, Taken King came out like a month later, or maybe
Mhm.
like 2 months later. So I started moving away from Borderlands and getting into Destiny. 'Cause that
Once
was
you
kinda
got the
like my
sham,
last
was it like that era was
It was
over?
like I had nothing else to do. So I had already played a lot of Borderlands when it first came out. I had played a lot of Borderlands off stream before I even started. So I've done a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. And like the last thing I hadn't done was that. And once that happened, I was kind of like, this is where I peak in Borderlands. There's really nothing else I can do. I've done pretty much everything else in it. I've spent already 3,000 hours playing the game just
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah, and then
I'm
Taken
done.
King. Taken King came out perfect. Then perfect time for that,
Now,
right?
I did play Destiny, but I didn't stream it. I played a little bit when it launched, and then like a lot of people at the time, I kind of stopped
Mm-hmm.
about 2 months after it came out, and just that was about around the time I started streaming anyway in
Nice.
2014.
Yeah.
So then I just Taken King came out, and I was like, I'm gonna get into Destiny. I tried it when it first came out. I want to pick it back up, and then ever since then, I've pretty much played way too much Destiny. Although taking breaks here and there for like Division and Warframe and other looter shooters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's been pretty much what I've done since then, is just play a lot of looter shooters and way too much Destiny.
Sounds exactly like my life. So
Can identify, definitely.
Yeah, I feel that.
How is I guess what's your perspective then on how Destiny has evolved over the years, since you go all the way back to the beginning, I'm assuming, and having been a part of streaming it? Yeah.
It's weird because on the streaming side of things, I've seen a lot of cycles.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of the community want one thing, then get it, then not want it, then get the other thing, then not want that, then not want the new thing. And I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I've seen, I guess say I've been a part of like a lot of people here, just the ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said, until there's another game that comes out that can do what Destiny does better, I still enjoy Destiny.
That's one of the biggest
Like
things.
there's other games that do certain things better.
Mm-hmm.
Like Borderlands does some things better. Division does some things better. But until another looter shooter has a better just straight gunplay,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll I can't go to another one yet.
Yeah, that is one of the things. Like, there really is no replacement for Destiny because all of the ingredients that Destiny adds up to is very unique, and
Yep.
there's no other
Yeah.
game. Like you said, there's other games that have components, and that some of those components are better. But when you take everything added together, you don't get what Destiny is.
Yep. 100%. So
And there's going to be even less competitors in the future because people don't want to invest
Mhm.
this much
What they
money into
need to
trying to compete with
invest.
Destiny anymore. So
They're
Destiny's
hard
kind
games to make.
Yeah.
of king.
Yep.
It is.
Like I've
It's
played
tough.
so many Destiny killers over the years that I'm like, okay, sure, whatever you say.
This is why like Outriders comes out and it's like, no, we're not a Destiny killer. Like we're
Yeah.
not live service. Like
We're not live
please
service.
just play us and move on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No one's even trying anymore.
Yep.
So Dan, what's your thing that you kind of specialize on your stream?
Generally now is PvE helps. I'm not good enough at PvP. I can hold my own, but I cannot. No, I tried.
I can hold me, I can't hold you.
I can't hold you. Nope. So I can barely hold myself. But anything in PvE is what I've learned is kind of my niche. I know a lot of people probably say that, but I like to do a lot. I know I've noticed a lot of people don't raid or don't
Yeah.
do the actual stuff in PvE, either because they either don't have the people, don't have the friends, don't have the time, don't have the necessary tools to join in certain activities, or just don't have the confidence to join it. I think
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
they don't have the time. Or I've seen a lot of people say that they had one bad experience with LFG or with one group, and it pushed them so far away from doing in-game activities that they never want to touch it again. So
Yeah.
my goal always is to give them a good experience. I've always said, at least for the last year, that if the total Destiny community only does, if only 5% of them does weekly raids, if I can push that to 10%, then I've done my job.
Wow.
So that's kind of my goal, is to get more people into the position that, hey, that was a cool raid. I know it out in and out that I can teach my friends how to do it. And then now we have 3, 4, 5, 6 people that we've taught. And we have our own raid group.
Yeah.
So now we can go raid with our own friends. You don't have to raid with me, but I will help you until you have enough people to raid with weekly.
Nice.
So
That's awesome.
that's what
That's
I
cool.
try to do.
Yeah,
You
that's
got a
really
good raid
cool.
for it too this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
rate is
right.
great.
Yeah.
It's good to teach. Yeah, that's really good. There's not a lot of people that engage in it. And I think a lot of it is, like you said, I've heard so many times that someone was like, yeah, I went on LFG, it was awful, and I just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Mhm.
So maybe even now that someone fully understands the raid, they could even feel more confident going back on LFG if that's something they want to do. But
That
just
too.
empowering people to have that knowledge and feel confident in a raid really makes a big difference.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even people that might have done a raid, they probably got sherped from someone that will just say, "Hey, just sit in the corner. You know, you'll be
Yeah.
a body and just shoot some things, and we'll get you clear." And I'm like, "But did you actually know how to do the raid?"
Yeah. It's definitely different from rating, right?
Yeah.
Feeling like you're
So,
doing the
like,
mechanics and understanding it.
if they can know how to do the mechanics so that they can teach their 2 friends how to do it, and then they pull one person in here, one person in there, and then same thing for like whenever there's the next secret exotic mission, especially like when Whisper and Outbreak were here, especially then, because a lot of people either were afraid of the platforming or afraid of having something timed is very pressure
Yeah.
intensity.
Oh, yeah.
Pressure. I don't know the word, but it's very high intensity
miss
for people
that.
to see. I got 20 minutes to get this thing done, and it's all on my platforming.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
the route, or I can't kill stuff quickly. And I'm like, I got you. If you fail, that's fine. We'll run it back. And by the time you get the stuff, you'll be able to do it yourself. Or if you need help, I got you.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
as long as they do that, as long as they have the confidence to keep going, then I think the average player in the community will be excited for that activity coming out, be excited for the new raid coming out, and they'll participate.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, it does seem to be quite the barrier for a lot of people because
mhm.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
steps
it is.
involved with like coordinating, getting the people online, and then feeling okay about like not knowing and screwing up. Because
Yeah.
it's so important to
Social
just make
anxiety
mistakes.
is what a lot of people have told me. They
Mhm.
just have straight anxiety for joining
Yeah.
something they with 3 to 5 people they don't know.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it helps like being able to watch your stream and see how you teach people. So they're like, okay, this is really chill and easy and I don't have to worry about anything. So then that probably also really helps them get
Yep.
involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you help with Nightfalls?
I started when Grandmasters came out. I don't do them as often, but I do try to do Conqueror helps.
Mhm.
Although it's not my highest priority, but generally at the end of the season when all 6 of them are open, I'll do them to help people finish out their conquerors.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did you?
I may need to hit you up for that.
I got you. They're all up
Still gotta
now.
finish that.
If you want, we can just knock out all 6 of them back to back, and before you know it.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
I got to do it next season for Gilded Conqueror and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
sorry, I'm getting ahead.
Yeah, that's awesome. If someone listening wanted to find you on stream and try to get into a raid group, what would that process be for them?
Type in chat, hey, can I join? And there's a free spot. I got you.
There it is.
There's literally like there's no raffle system. There's none of that. Just if there's a free spot, I prioritize people that have not done the raid first. If there's no one that hasn't done the raid at all, then the second priority is someone that hasn't actually done a job in a raid.
Mhm.
And then I just want to get more experience. Or I don't have the raid rocket. Then yeah, come on in. I got you. So,
That's awesome. man.
I try not to bring in the people that's like, I've done 80 clears. I just want to run around. I'm like, yeah, cool. But like someone else in chat hasn't done it all. They're gonna come in first.
You want
Yeah.
each spot to really matter for the team,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like
man.
you those people are only if we just need a body, cool. Let's just speed run this real quickly. You know what to do.
Mhm.
But like I'm gonna take the extra 20 minutes for the person to learn how to do the raid, unlock their triumph to get the emblem, all that stuff. It means more to me that someone get a clear for the first time than for
Yeah.
their 40.
Yeah.
So,
How many raid rockets have you witnessed drop for first time clears?
before I got one,
Yeah, before you got one, sure.
I think the count was 38.
38
Before I got
dropped
one.
before you got one?
Yeah.
38.
I swear they don't have bad luck protection on the rockets. I think they said they did and they don't. It's
No.
just like Anarchy used to be, I think.
Hmm.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like it is.
I've heard some
cool.
high numbers. That's pretty
It
high.
is cool, but I don't think there's drop protection either. Nope. Not one bit.
It's just get lucky. Just
Yep,
get the
just get
drop.
lucky. It
Yep.
feels that for some reason there's almost like a weighted system that if you don't get it in the first 2 runs, you don't get it for like 30, 40 rounds.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Like a S curve or something in there.
You get like a beginner's luck drop,
Like a
and then
U-shape.
you gotta wait. So I got mine last week.
Congratulations.
So before then, I probably took like 40 people through out of maybe like 100 that all got it on their first clear or second.
40 people?
So ask
Got
me
out of their
how
first
I feel
clear?
just see.
That's
insane.
Wow.
Okay.
First or second?
That's
First or second?
crazy.
That is nuts.
How many people have you helped in total?
I think in all of them, it's not 1,000. If we include D1, it's 1,000 plus, but I haven't like added them all up.
Yeah, it's
So
a lot
it's
to keep
somewhere
track
like
of.
600 or 700.
Nice.
Wow,
It's impressive, man.
wow, yeah, that's crazy.
So,
That's awesome.
but that's just D2. I don't know my numbers from D1. I try not to keep up with it because there's plenty of people that have probably Sherped way more than me. Because I also took like a 2-year break when Eater Worlds came out. I stopped Sherped,
Mm-hmm.
and then I didn't start again until technically Deepstone Crypt.
That's fair because rating was definitely different back then. Of course,
Yeah.
the previous ones have gotten significantly better, but
Mhm.
yeah, I think a lot of people kind of dropped off around that time because like
Yeah.
the raid loot was different. It just wasn't as rewarding as it was in the past.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm assuming you've done all the raids, right?
Yeah.
What's
I've
your
done them all in my favorite
yeah? What's your favorite? That's what I was
in
gonna
all of
ask.
Destiny or
Yeah.
just in D2?
Yeah, let's say all
My
Destiny.
favorite D1 raid, all D1 and D2 raids combined, Wrath of Machine.
It's a
I
good
still
raid.
really like Wrath of Machine.
Yeah.
Question: when you
I
factor
would
this stuff
like-
in, do you factor loot or just the raid experience? You know, is it
raid
like a
experience, raid loot, raid replayability,
yeah.
and those are like the main things. Like if there's a good raid system, good raid mechanics, a fun raid, and just an enjoyable raid, I think is all I really need. Because some raids are more mechanic based, like Last Wish.
I was gonna
But
say
I don't
yeah.
enjoy Last Wish as much as Wrath of the Machine.
Yeah, I was gonna
Even
say
though it's a better first time raid,
yeah, that
but not a
it's
better overall raid.
Last Wish is an incredible experience that I do
Mhm.
not want to play again and again and again.
Yeah.
Not on repeat.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for me, it's very much cheapened. Almost not from day one, but it was cheapened very early on when we all just like skipped Riven's mechanics.
Yeah.
That lesson did a lot for me.
Yep.
When you're teaching a really good raid, you just taught Vault. Like, yeah, this is really good teaching. Every encounter has some really, really interesting mechanics. You get to Riven, you're at the boss, and they're like, oh man, I've gotten so far. What are we gonna do here? You got a rocket with cluster bombs? Follow me. We're gonna do some joining allies. You know, so
Yeah.
that kind of like
I'm gonna go
brings
huddle
it
in a
down
corner
off
over
of me.
here and suddenly get teleported.
Yeah, so like if it was still like you had to do the mechanics, you had to split up and do all that stuff, I think it would be higher for me.
Yeah.
But after your first clear of Riven and first clear of doing the raid, I don't enjoy it nearly as much. Sadly.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Last Wish because like the mechanics are interesting the first time doing them, but having to do them again, they become they just feel laborious. You know, like
Yeah.
just
Arduous.
Yeah, arduous. Yeah, like that. I get that impression as opposed to Wrath, which had just excitement.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
Just
all like
nonstop.
big movement, right? It's like there's lots of moving around. You're never normally having to just stick in one place. There's a lot of hero moments as well where you can be like,
Yep.
oh, you died over there. Okay, I'm going to sprint over there and grab your stuff. And yeah, it's those kind of raids are really fun to keep playing just because the sandbox in those raids is so fun to participate in.
yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I totally agree.
I also don't like it when a raid punishes the entire team for one person's mistake so easily. Like,
Yep.
like anybody in Last Wish can make a wipe happen really easily at
Really
Riven. You know, like
Yeah.
all of them have the
Mhm.
ability to just screw it up easily. And like,
There's not a lot of room for, like you said, hero moments. Like if someone
Yeah.
messes up, generally in a raid, if someone messes up, I know the raid in and out that I can cover. But
Yeah.
Last Wish, especially Riven, I can't be in both sides at the
No.
same time. So that alone is very rough.
yeah, yeah.
So it's a very enjoyable teaching raid, but after I teach all the way through, I don't care nearly as much. Like I don't run it unless somebody wants to do Last Wish that hasn't done it. I'll teach it. We'll learn legit. I'll teach a legit Riven, and then I won't do it again until you need the 1K.
Yeah.
Like, let's go join some allies over here.
Yep. Now I won't do that. I try not to do the cheese.
Oh, yeah?
Because
You-
I at least
yeah,
want to
against
like
it.
Very
keep
noble.
the experience. But it's very difficult when all the community is just clipping Riven's toenail. You know, and I'm like, no, we're gonna
Manicures.
do it legit. And I'm like, we're going all the way down, going back up, and they're like, we could have just sorted Riven twice by now. I'm like, but
It's not the
they
point.
spent all this time
Yeah.
making it. Not the point.
Yeah.
It's definitely more fun to do that raid. Like Last Wishes, the encounters are really interesting.
Hmm.
So skipping on Riven is such a shame
Yeah.
because it is.
Yeah.
really cool.
If you got a first time Guardian in there, first time Raider experiencing Riven,
Yeah.
it is really cool to do it legit.
Yep. And
Yeah.
like, even if we do legit, I make sure we don't DPS her too much. So they at least get the experience of dropping down and shooting all her scabs and stuff. Because
That's
I
cool.
know people that can do Riven legit, but they still just sword her on each side and they're still damaging her too much
Right.
before you do the full mechanic. I'm like, we're going to go up top. We're not going to damage at all. We're just going to drop down and that's going to be your damage. You're going to experience this full raid. And you're
The
going to
old,
like it.
Raid.
the old Bungie solution of don't damage too quickly, ruin the encounter.
So
How do you feel about Vault of Glass coming?
I've been having a lot of thoughts about it recently, and I'm excited, but I'm also worried. Like, I'm worried.
Mhm.
I know they want to keep the experience of Vault of Glass for us that played it long time ago,
Yeah.
but I do feel that the community and just anyone that raids now is too smart for Vault of Glass, in my opinion. Now. So
yeah, the
a
general
lot of
IQ
us-
of the population has definitely gone up. The player base, solving and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if a lot of us have always hyped up Vault of Glass as being this fantastic raid, a lot of people are going to go into that raid, complete it, be like, that's it? That's what y'all are so excited about all these years? So
But the
I
Templar,
hope
man.
they can do
Like
it.
making your
right?
kid watch your favorite action movie from like the 80s.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, what? This is John Wick. Like, what?
Mhm. But at the time, it was so good. You'll
Yeah,
love it. So,
It was the first raid, yeah, and we didn't know like what a Bungie raid looked like or what any kind of mechanics would be. So figuring out was totally different. Now people kind of know the formula and know what's up. So I expect people to do it pretty easily, unless they change a bunch of stuff, which they don't want to do. And I've
Yep.
had the concern about the loot because it's like you look
Yeah.
at Fatebringer, we look at the loot we have now, like Killing
Yeah.
Wind and all these crazy perks we have, and we are so strong that if they just bring back the original loot, which I think they kind of have to, people are gonna be like, "Oh, Fatebringer, it like blows things up."
What could they do to make the loot like more in line
I
with
mean, they've
D2?
recreated Fatebringer like twice already. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
I'm not too sure what they can do. Like, if they make it too different, you'll have a portion of the community upset that it's not their VOG.
True.
But if you don't change it, you'll have the newer portion of player base saying that was way too easy. So I don't know
the
what
eternal
they're gonna do.
Bungie paradox.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
champions is enough if they're adding champion to make it a brand new raid enjoyable.
That's fair.
What
So
if
I don't
they're
know if you
Wyvern
change the
champions?
mechanics.
Would that change your mind?
Yeah, wyverns.
Yes. Because even a
Getting
red bar
booped off
wyvern
the-
is
Booped off the ledge
scary,
I haven't
constantly.
pronounced
scary
Wyvern
enemy.
wrong the whole time. I have.
You go to the
They-
Gorgon maze, it's actually wyverns.
Yeah.
They should make unstoppable
Hopping around.
They
wyverns. I
spot you
say.
and just jump on you instantly.
Mhm.
What if
So I don't know.
what if they were to add like intrinsic unstoppable and anti-barrier type of perks to the weapons? This would probably break the
That would
system.
make them worth going.
Yeah. In
wouldn't
hindsight,
it
it
have
would
to
That'd be
make
kind of the
Exactly.
modern day equivalent of elemental primaries, honestly.
yeah.
Like
Like
considering
Fatebringer.
how useful those were at the
Right.
time, something with like intrinsic anti-barrier that's like a legendary weapon
That's
would be
legendary.
pretty
Yeah.
key.
Yeah, imagine if Fatebringer had unstoppable baked into it, in addition to it being Fatebringer.
Yeah.
That would make it worth going after. Yeah. And during the raid.
Especially if you could run like anti-barrier hand cannon on your gauntlets or something and have both just with one gun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty fun.
that would be.
So,
At the same
I
time,
don't
though,
know.
it's that power creep type of thing where then it's like those are
Yeah.
the only weapons you'd want to
Yeah.
use.
Now we
if
need a
you're-
triple one.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
going after champions,
Where's
like
the
you're
value?
only going to want to use these weapons, you know?
So, I mean, I'm excited, but I'm worried. I'm also worried about the spoil system, if they're going to keep that around.
Mhm.
Because a lot of us already have max spoils. So I do want Vault of Glass to have a spoil system. but I don't think it needs to be the same currency as the one we have in Deepstone. Because
That's a
then
good
day
point.
one, everyone's going to already have everything if you can just buy everything from the chest again. Because I would assume anyone that's already raiding somewhat regularly already has every roll of every gun they already have and armor. So I can see a lot of people already just stockpiling spoils for Vault of Glass.
That's a good point. Did not think of that.
Are
Yeah, people
spoils
have
here
already
to
started.
Are they here to stay also? Like, is there any
That's the
kind of
question.
I
Is
would
it
see so since Last Wish and Garden
Yeah.
has them.
I would think so, especially
There's
as
just no
like that's how
chest.
you buy the raid weapon from the kiosk. And honestly, people like the system, being able to just buy another roll at the end and being able to farm the raid over and over again.
you
And
don't
I guess
think
the
So
catch would be you need one drop of each thing first for however many runs that takes, and then I guess you could start buying all the rolls. Maybe they put a limit on how many you can buy per run or something, like so you can't just like dump, 50
They
rolls
would
of
have the
Fatebringer or
chest
something
though,
instantly.
unless they just don't give you the chest anymore. Since the chest
Yeah.
in Deepstone is like that, where you can spend 60 spoils for just a chance at an encounter drop. But either
Yeah.
they make it more, or they sadly wipe everyone's spoils. But I don't see them doing that. So
People will be mad about that.
they'd be mad.
people would be
especially if
pissed,
they're
yeah.
saving for the exotic from the kiosk, right?
Yeah.
People are like, yeah, really? Yeah.
Or they
no,
just
it's
make a
not.
new currency for every raid. But I don't think they do that either. So
Ugh,
it's going to
way
be.
too many, right?
I was talking about this last night. There's going to be a portion of the community upset day one of VOG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either they're not going to have spoils, or everyone's going to have all the stuff from Vault of Glass day one and be like, "Well, I'm done with this raid. I had 1,000 spoils in my vault, just buying everything." So
Oh man,
only going to wait and see.
that's a problem. Maybe what they're gonna do is not have the ability to buy the stuff day one. Maybe it's gonna like
Yeah, maybe they
slowly-
wait like a month or something.
yeah they're
That
gonna
would be something.
yeah maybe
Yeah.
roll out the vendor like partially each week a little bit.
Yeah.
Gets unlocked.
Yeah, because I don't want them to wipe it. Like you said, some people are saving up for Anarchy, Acreus, the Raid Sparrows, stuff like that. So I don't want to hurt those people.
Mm-hmm.
But I know somebody like myself that already has 240 spoils on each character and on my character and in the Postmaster. If there's a spoil system, I'm probably gonna just buy them all day one.
Right. Why
So,
wouldn't you?
yeah.
What else are you gonna spend it on, right?
What am I supposed to spend it on? Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that with the whole spoil
Yeah.
stuff and future raids and how they're gonna handle that. I'd hate for them
I
to
think
do
Witch
another
Queen would
currency.
be better though, because they might wipe it for Witch Queen or make a new spoil for like every year. They could do like a spoil for year 4, year
True.
5, but Vault of Glass is probably that middle one that I don't think they truly thought through. Or maybe they did.
I could definitely see them putting expiration dates on spoils at certain points.
Yeah.
Like if they don't want to have the currency slop over, or I mean, if they don't want to have separate currencies per raid, and they want to keep it, focalized, then I could totally see them for Witch Queen saying we're going to expire all this stuff and it's going to be, a new year.
I don't know if we need more expiring things.
I know, right? It's a little rough.
Yeah.
I know League of Legends is a very different game, but they do the yearly reset on stuff. Like you can get prestige points and then you can save up to buy like one of the prestige skins from that year. But then when it goes to the next year, you can't use those to buy another one. Because
If
that's
they
their
did it,
way
they'd
of
have to tell us like now. So
Yeah.
people like know it's coming. They can't be
Yeah.
like a month before Witch Queen, like, oh, by the way, like
All those spoils going bye-bye.
you're spoiling.
Spend them now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to VOG. I think it's going to be fun.
I am too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
you think they're gonna have a world's first for VOG?
Probably.
If
It'll
they
be
change
weird, but
It will
It'd
be
be
weird.
We already know the
Yeah,
mechanics.
it's gonna be weird because
it'll be
the
really
people.
fast, I'm guessing.
I don't know how much they're gonna change it if they change
Yeah.
anything. And yeah, the people who have done it before, I guess, would have a big advantage. But I guess if you're super serious, you can just get your group on D1 and go
And just
go
go right back
debug.
in. I guess it's
Wow.
up to them. If they are changing enough of it, they can make it a world's first, but it seems odd to make another world's first for the same raid.
True.
I bet they'll do it, honestly. I mean, it'll be way different. It'll be way faster, but I still think they'll do it.
Yeah.
Even if everyone is at an advantage if they've already, played D1.
Everyone just goes back to D1, just practices the raid on D1 over and over.
They changed everything, and everyone's like, "Oh no!"
Yeah. I would like the change though, but
What do you think?
I bet they'll change like a good amount, but like, I mean, they'll keep the core of the encounters the same, but I bet they'll make them a few
I would like
layers
the
more
mechanics being
complicated.
changed. I'd like that.
I don't expect any mechanics really being shifted. I expect
Not
champions.
like not the core mechanics, but like probably more ways to fail encounters, like different
Okay.
things. But
Yeah.
Apparently, they already said that it will not be a world's first.
oh, did they?
Okay.
Interesting.
Missed
Okay.
that, apparently, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Sure.
expecting.
go.
I mean, there'll be like an unofficial one.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping. Like, it's not a full-on world's first situation, but they'll still be like, this was the first team to beat
Yeah.
the new bug. Yeah.
What do you think the DPS, the top DPS thing is going to be for taking out Atheon?
Swords.
That
I don't
stomp,
see
though.
unless I can't remember whether you can I'm pretty sure you can damage Atheon anywhere.
Uh-huh.
So if that still is the case, everyone's just going to sit in the well right underneath them.
That's going to be
True.
a
They
different
would have
Atheon
to.
experience.
They would have to literally do a Tannic situation where you can't get that close. I don't
Yeah.
see anyone sitting back on that middle platform anymore sniping, unless they just straight up buff snipers and nerf swords. I don't see why people wouldn't just sit. We're way too smart. We're just going to sit underneath.
That's what I
them.
mean, though. Like that, isn't that something they would have to change?
They would have to.
Like,
Exactly.
are they really going to have Atheon be able to be like, quadruple lamented to death in like 8
Yeah.
seconds after all this?
Because you can technically damage, if I'm not mistaken, you could damage Atheon while people were in like the two worlds. It was just a lot less. You didn't have the Time's Vengeance buff.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah,
if people
yeah.
were doing the mechanics while the other half of the team is just damaging the entire time.
What if
Yeah.
they make it so you can only do damage if you shoot through the relic?
Probably the same thing. Because people would just get the relic and then stand underneath them
But
and well.
what,
Poke the
maybe
sword through it.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe the sword wouldn't work. Maybe
They would
like it has
literally
to
have
be
to
a
make him immune.
projectile to go through the shield.
Yeah, they literally have to make him immune and make him T-pose or something. So you can't sword him. So it's an interesting situation. I wouldn't be surprised if people try if people don't try to sword Templar.
Yeah.
People are going to sword the whole damn raid.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgons, they're definitely dead.
Oh,
Yeah,
We
so-
like Gorgons. Gorgons are
Kill
out of
all
there.
of them. Getting that.
Bubble Tether Murder will be boosted up with a lament.
You said it's gonna be fast. I'm certain it'll probably be sub hour. If we can just sword everything, it'll be sub an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, if the mechanics aren't really changing much. And if they do add a
Mhm.
bunch of champions, still swords are going to rip through champions.
They would have to be GM
Swords of the
champions for them to be a
champion.
problem.
Hmm.
True.
Because champions are too weak in raids. Or at least deep
Yes.
stone.
Interesting.
They are. Yeah. You don't need to have the perk to deal with them.
Yeah, people ask me all the time, what do I need for champions? I'm like, you don't need anything. They die without it, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a TWAB before we forget.
You want to get into the do we want to talk about Hawkmoon first?
Oh, yeah. And the Hawkmoon mission.
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
we'll do the TWAB?
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah.
That was huge. We finally got the random roll Hawkmoon
How you guys
thing.
feel about that?
and the catalyst.
It's
Yeah.
good. I'm done farming. I got rangefinder. But I mean, the quest was like a whole thing. That was more involved than I was expecting for the random roll part of it, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I figured we were just going to rerun pretty much the exact Lost Sector mission we did with just some champions. I was not really expecting it to be tied into this whole like secret, separate, let's go behind the fireplace and jump
Mhm.
across to the dam thing. So that was cool. I always love when they do secret stuff like that. So that was very surprising. Like, it's a little confusing because it's like I really like stuff like that, and yet it still wasn't really a surprise at the end because it's just Hawkmoon random rolls. But it was still fun. So overall, I think that was a great addition for the end of the season, and it's something people can run all year round now because it's sticking
Yep.
around.
Yep.
The catalyst makes a big difference.
Yeah, the Catalyst is great too.
What does it do again?
The catalyst. So the catalyst is depending on the amount of stacks that you have, it will give you increased range, reload, handling, stability. It basically boosts every stat based on all of your stacks, which is really awesome because the thing with Hawkmoon is that it's really fun to get the stacks and do the final shot. But if you are like you miss that final shot or you're getting like 3 stacks and you need to reload, you're kind of just making no use out of the stacks at all. So this is a really nice catalyst to make it useful all the way, whether you have 1 stack or 2 stacks, it's making the gun better.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you get
that's
Killing
really
Wind or Surplus, and it's like double Catalyst. Just
Yeah.
like 2 of the 3 bonuses from those are
Wow.
native
Yeah.
to those perks, so it's
Nice.
kind of funny to use that.
Yeah, I played the mission. I actually didn't finish it because I was soloing it, and I'm like, not.
Yeah, it was too hard. So.
I got to
couldn't
the
do it,
end. I killed the first champion, and then like another round of champions showed up, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pause this for now. And I'm also 1263. I'm not 1270, so I'm also a little under
God.
level.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no
So-
kidding.
It was fun though, and I really liked the mission of what I played to that point because I think anytime they add this secret stuff and going through like the EDZ is cool with secrets. I really like that, and the whole brick walls and tunnels and stuff. Like I thought that was cool. I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah.
The environment was really cool, like going in through the fireplace and then into like pipes and this really tiny corridors. That was cool. I liked it. Visually, it was really pleasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I just
my
wish
favorite part was
it
at the
was
beginning when no one knew what to do for like 20 minutes, like at the dam.
Yeah.
No one knew where to jump.
Yep. They're like, it's time gated. I'm like, guys,
Yeah, they're like, this is
Who-
bugged out.
I'm like, why would here's a new mission that says to do this very specific thing. Why would the mission be time gated when it's telling you the thing that you're supposed to do? So the only part that you could currently do is enter the fireplace. Nice. That
Yeah.
makes
Shoot
a
the
lot of
one
sense.
taken goblin.
Yes, the one taking goblin. You're done. You are
Yeah.
done.
Come back after reset.
Yeah.
So how many times can you farm for the gun?
So,
Well,
so
technically, yeah.
I
Yeah.
messed up. So if you don't pick up the mission from Crow, the quest from Crow, before going for the random rolls, you can farm it over and over and over and over again.
What?
I
It's
picked up the
one
mission.
drop a run, right?
It's 1 drop instead of 2, but you can keep going forever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
I
messed
picked up
up.
them as well. So
Yeah, I messed up. I'm sad about
What if you
it.
didn't pick it up on another character?
I think you have to have not picked it up at all.
At all? Oh, shoot.
I think so.
That's awful.
I might be incorrect about that, but I mean, it's obviously a bug, right? It's clearly
Yeah.
some type of bug. So, nope. Yeah, you have to have not picked it up at all. So if you haven't picked it up yet, don't pick it up until you get the roll you want.
That's so lame.
Yeah, but if you did it the proper way, you can get 2 Hawkmoon drops per character per week.
Per week? Okay.
So a total of 6 per week.
Yeah.
that's still a decent amount, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Like
decent amount,
6
yeah.
You're only going for, you're going for the one main perk, and I guess barrels and stuff too, but
Yeah.
you don't need to match 2 perks at least.
True. So does this make Hawkmoon top tier?
It's really good. It's real good. The gun just feels super smooth with the catalyst. It really does make a big difference.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's really good now.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, fun
Yeah.
mission, right?
Do we want to
Yeah.
get into the TWAB?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
It was a little juicy.
Juicy.
So
Bob.
of course they talk about Hawkmoon was a thing and Harbinger and all that good stuff. But there's the interesting stuff starts here. So sticking around. As we've mentioned in the past, we are moving to make seasonal content stick around longer to reduce the amount of FOMO, otherwise known as fear of missing out, in Destiny 2. Our goal is to help players experience the narrative beats and activities even if they start playing later after the season has ended. Here's a look at what's sticking around from Season of the Hunt until the end of Year 4. So the end of Year 4 would be, when the Witch Queen comes out.
Mhm.
That should be the end of Year 4. So story missions will be available to be launched from a node in the director. Wrathborn Hunts, Adored Quest will continue to be available. Crow's Vendor Screen on Tangled Shore, Hawkmoon Exotic Quest and Master Activity, Seasonal Seal and Warden Title. And just a note about the Seasonal Seal, it must be earned by the deadline on the Bungie rewards page, but due to an issue blocking the Triumph, we will be adjusting the deadline. So you'll have longer to get it.
There you go.
And here are the things that will no longer be available at the end of the season. Crow's Bounties, Messages from the Field, Seasonal Artifact, and Season Pass. So, yeah, we're getting stuff sticking
What are
around.
Messages from the Field?
I think that's the thing in Zavala's office where people are just like hitting up Zavala's DMs and being like, hey, bro.
It's like Osiris talking like 11 times and then like a Mara saw message.
Mara saying that she's,
Okay.
Yep. So it says shifting to keep more of this content around after the season ended has created some weirdness for Season of the Hunt, which was initially designed assuming the old model. So anything that we're experiencing with Season of the Hunt and it being weird, and you're like, why is this the case? Because it was not initially created to be.
I knew it. I knew this is why they messed up the Crow thing.
You were correct.
Yeah.
So this is why Crow was still hanging around in Spider's lair right after being unceremoniously kicked out earlier in the season, which was weird. It was weird. But now you know why.
We freed him. He wasn't kicked out.
We
earned his freedom.
Spider didn't say, get out of here. You're kicked out of my house, Crow. Yeah, that's weird. You may see other anomalies involving Crow in Season 13 as he'll be moving to a new destination, the tower, right? While also remaining on the Tangled Shore to enable Season of the Hunt content tied to his inventory. So all of you Crow lovers, you now have 2.
2 spots.
Yeah, you can go visit him in multiple locations.
Yeah, when he's the speaker in the tower.
Yeah. Yep. But they do say that Season 13 should avoid these rough edges as its content has been designed from the outset to remain throughout Year 4. So the next season onwards, we shouldn't have any of those weird issues.
This is interesting because like we're getting what we asked for with like seasonal stuff sticking around, but the further we get into it, the shorter it is. So it'll be like this stuff will last the longest, but then the next time it'll be just 2 seasons, and then the final season will still only last 3 months.
Yeah.
So Year 4. Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's gonna be a little strange.
Yeah, that is a little weird for sure.
It is a little weird. I like that they're kind of moving to like a yearly reset because it's a little bit more readable for people. It's like once a year, the big DLC comes out, everything kind of gets reset and we start again. So I think that makes it a bit more simple.
Like you would hope that the best activities would be in like this season.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Sundial or something, as opposed to like Wrathborn Hunts, which everyone's like, oh good, those are sticking around.
They're so good. We really need them.
We do. We need them. We need them.
Yeah, if those showed up at the last 3 months of the year, then be like, okay, cool, that's fine. But it is interesting.
It'll
like
probably be the best one too.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, I really wish we had it longer, but we got to wrap it for a whole year.
Probably, yeah, because the last one it would be like things that they've learned from, I guess, a couple seasons before, or like a couple seasons before this one. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, normally does work out like that because of the way that content's being created. Next up, we have Umbral Engrams. They're back, and they're pretty insane. You can go down right now and play it. Anyway, back in 2020, Season of Arrivals introduced a new feature called Umbral Engrams, which allowed Guardians to focus rewards to the type of weapon and armor rolls they most desired. The system was well received by the community, so we decided to do a little tuning and bring them back for Season 13, as well as future seasons in Year 4. While the new seasonal activity will always provide the fastest path to earning new rewards, we want to ensure that regardless of how you spend your time in Destiny, Umbral Engrams allow you to chase new rewards. Similar to Season of Arrivals, Umbral Engrams will drop from completing a variety of content. So you're going to be able to get it in Patrols, Strikes, Crucible, Gambit, The Ordeal, Public Events, Blind Well, Nightmare Hunts, Exo Challenges, Empire Hunts, and the new seasonal activity. And then also there's a note of that Umbral Engrams also have a chance to drop from defeating enemies anywhere in the game. So basically, you play game, you get Umbral.
Yeah.
That's all you need to tell me. Play game, you get
Play
Umbral.
Game, Umbral.
Play game Umbral. You may notice fewer Umbral Engrams sitting in your inventory than before. While it was fun to watch Umbral Engrams rain down on players in Season 11, the drop rates were higher than expected, so we're rebalancing the drop rate.
Interesting.
There will be a short quest to show players how to use the new Prismatic Recaster. to focus Umbral Engrams, but this quest is account wide, so you only need to do it once. Thank goodness.
How do you guys feel about Umbrals coming back?
They're great.
Dan,
I think
you
a
not
lot
feeling
of the
it?
community likes it. When I read it, I was like, what's going to be in them? I think it's going to be like the same stuff we're already getting to drop, but like you can focus farming a specific role, or is it going to be brand new weapons that I think if they're brand new weapons, well, technically, if they're like year one weapons that come back that finally aren't static rolls that can be random rolls, I think it'll be good that way. Otherwise, I'm personally not a huge fan, but I can get why they brought it back because it was such a big thing.
Yeah.
But if I'm re-rolling again for like Acolyte Sniper, then I don't really care. But if a lot of those year one weapons that are still stuck in our collections come back that way, then yeah, cool.
I think it'll be the seasonal weapons, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, there's more on it. Maybe I'll read this first and then we can talk about where we're at with thoughts on it. So the Prismatic Recaster. It returns as a kiosk with the capability to change Umbral Engrams into focused Umbral Engrams, which contain a smaller loot table. Because Umbral Engrams are here to stay, the new Recaster will have different pages for each season, and you'll be able to focus Engrams to the season of your choice. So the way that I kind of see this playing out is like, say if there's a gun that I really, really want from season 13, but I don't end up getting the role that I want. Season 14 will come along. I can play the new content to get the season 14 drops while still using the Umbral Engrams to try and get that role that I wanted on season 13 weapons or armor. So it's kind of a way of like, you didn't get what you wanted, or maybe you missed out, you didn't play that season, and you can still play the new season, get the new content, but whenever you get an Umbral to drop, you can throw it in there and try and get some of the old stuff.
Wait, this is going to be weird, though, next season, because with past seasons, the Wrathborn weapons are still going to be in Wrathborn hunts. They said that. So then Arrival's weapons will be in them. But I don't think there's going to be worthy weapons, because they said they weren't dropping stuff that expires like within a couple months. Like they took that stuff out of the loot pool.
Right.
And then Dawn stuff is already sunset. So that's Arrival's weapons and then the current season weapons. I feel like those would be the only seasons that were
it might be a bit of a weird transition because this season being so weird with it not being set up.
Thinking about the random stuff in there too, like they had the Aikilos stuff and some of the world weapons. But
just throw all the sunset stuff in there that they're bringing back.
No. So I can get my reissued Breachlight or whatever.
I like Umbral Engrams. The only time that I ended up not liking Umbral Engrams is when there were so many of them and I didn't need anything else. So it was just annoying to deal with them. Yeah. But I think Umbral Engrams, like allowing you to get a certain stat roll on armor, or like focus a certain stat, or go for a much smaller loot pool I think it was a good addition to the game. And I hope that this works out in the way that I'm thinking. If you play the new content to get the new stuff, and then you try and get your perfect roll on something through the recaster.
Oh, okay, Bungie, whoever's watching this, if any of you are watching this, Iron Banner, Umbral Engrams, please. You've needed those for so long. I don't even care if it's just focus between armor and weapons. Just any amount of focusing for Iron Banner drops would be great.
I like that. Yeah,
they do need that. Yeah, cool. I personally, I actually liked the Umbral Engram type of system in there. You know, this still is somewhat mystery as to what exactly I'm going to be able to truly get out of these things. So there's obviously that element to it. But I really enjoyed when the Umbral Engrams were around, and I do like the fact that we're not going to get like an insane amount of them. So they're constantly pushing out or filling up the slots, you know, like it was always 10 Umbral Engrams in there.
So like, I guess I'll dump them in the recast.
Yeah, I'd have to go and just like turn them all in because I don't care right now. Like it'll be nice to get one of those to drop and be like, oh, let's go bring it to the recaster and see what I want out of there. Assuming it's good stuff. If it's, I don't know, if it's just more of the same, then I'm gonna be less interested in what drops out of it.
Yeah. That's all I was hoping. At least there's some I don't want to say reissued, but I hope some of the weapons from year one comes back. and is added into that system along with this seasonal stuff. Because at least that'll give some newness.
So they've done a
To
little
the
bit of that
pool?
in the past, right? They've brought in a few
Yeah, a
of the
little bit.
things. Yeah, but not like the
Oh, wait, are the Dreaming City and Moon weapons going to be in there?
Maybe.
That's what I was
No.
saying.
It's hard to say,
was
right?
joking
It's
about
hard
that.
because we
Ways
don't
to-
know how
Yeah.
we don't know how sunsetting is going to work with stuff with the recaster thing. We don't know what weapons exactly are going to be there when it kicks off. So it's hard to fully say.
That's one thing about the swap is they didn't go into sunsetting or reissuing at all. So
No.
Yeah.
not so much. But
I'm sure they've been talking about it. I'm sure there've been many meetings and many emails. So another thing that we have is the prismatic lens. We have a new way to unlock different focusing options from our Umbral Engrams through a new reward called prismatic lenses. A prismatic lens will unlock a new focusing option so you can target a narrower collection of gear and target specific armor stats. You'll be able to earn prismatic lenses by doing various activities in the game, and you can track your progress towards unlocking lenses at the prismatic recaster. We don't want to spoil everything though, so we'll let you discover it in season 13.
Cool.
I like
Yeah.
that you can see your progress towards unlocking your next lens. That's nice.
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense because like this was like a seasonal currency thing when they did it with Arrivals, so they would have to replace it with kind of a larger currency system. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's Umbral Engrams. They're coming back. They're
Yeah.
going to stick around. Yeah, I think overall it sounds good to me, especially there's a bunch of people who are like, this season's focused on this. I'm not really that into it. I'm going to take a break. And then they come back and then they miss Fell Winners. So it's nice to have a place where people can go to get the older stuff.
I just really liked Umbral Engrams when it was around.
They're cool.
For that season. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
It was great to target something specific that I wanted. And then when I didn't, I was like, fine, I'll just turn them all in and get whatever crap comes out of them. Like,
Yeah.
it's nice. It's a nice option. I'm glad they realized that it was good. They're going to lean into it. Still question marks as to what type of loot we're going to get out of it, but I'll be interested in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
And I'm
long
sure
as they
we'll
make
hear.
it easier. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead then. Go.
I was gonna say as long as they make it easier to delete them.
Yeah, they took forever. They were the longest thing to delete. I don't understand why. It was
That's it.
so.
Are you
that was
sure
terrible.
you want to get rid of this Umbral?
Recaster tab, personally, like you can just go to the store and turn in your tests engram like just straight from that screen.
Yeah.
Like I would say
Yeah.
doing that for Umbrals, just because of how many you get.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I think we'll probably hear more about like the larger sunsetting conversation and reissuing in the State of Destiny that Mr. Jogaroth will be putting out. Yeah. So next, titles. A Gilded Age. So they have some plans to improve the titles. So this is from the Triumph's design team. So they're going to start with the goals. They want to allow players to show off their engagement with the core rituals season over season, preserve the value of earning the base title, decrease the amount of grind required season over season for players that want to earn them all. So starting with season 13, if a player has completed a seal for one of our core ritual titles, Unbroken, Dredgen, Flawless, and Conqueror, players will have a series of additional seasonal objectives to gild that title. So what exactly the hell is gilded? A series of seasonal objectives to gild a core ritual title, a new border around the seal in the Triumph's UI, a pip tracking how many times in your career that you've gilded a given title, a new color and symbol for the title over your head so that you can show off. So that is, of course, it's only coming to the ones that you can get over and over and over again. Yeah, I kind of I'll keep reading and then we'll get our last.
Yeah.
So what happens when the season is over? Each season, the optional gilding objectives will reset and may even change to fit the unique experiences of any given season. All of the base objectives of the title will be preserved, and your title will revert to its typical purple coloring. And then it just says, Flawless, Conqueror, Unbroken, and Dredgen are the ones that will be affected.
How are we feeling about this?
So this is something that I kind of wanted a long time ago, but not necessarily with the gilding, but just with all titles in general. I know it won't work for every title if it's like, oh, you know, you get the raid title. Or maybe it would. Maybe you could keep going up and up with the amount of raid completions and add something to your title that is to do with that. So we talked about this on DCP a while ago, and I said that in Guild Wars, the way that they did titles was you'd be like Ascended Gladiator, Epic Gladiator, Fierce Gladiator, and you'd keep getting like different titles the more that you played the activity. So if that was your jam, was to be in that specific part of the game, you could have like the highest title from there, and everyone would know that that's your jam.
Mhm.
So I really like that, and I think titles can definitely become more of something like that, where you're going on a journey with the title over time. I think this is a step towards that, especially as it's going to tell you how many times you've gilded the title, so you know you have like a number next to it or something.
So if
It's going to tell you that. I think that's like a private stat. So
yeah, so it kind of sounds like you're right, which it would be nice if instead of the just having a number next to it would be good. I like I personally like changing the name of it, like the whole Ascended Gladiator thing.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
having the number next to it would be really nice instead of just having
Yeah.
the different color change when you finally gild it again in the next season.
So when the season's over, do you lose all of it then? Is there no way to, or is there a way to revert back to a previous season's like gilding or something?
No, I think it's tracking your like total completions in the back end, and like I think on your triumphs page, but
Yeah.
you will lose
Yeah.
like the gold effect or whatever it is, like that displays publicly. So, and then you'll have to redo it for the next season. So I think the problem with this has already been brought up. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, what if gilding takes, you know, almost an entire season, and then you get the gilded public facing title for like 2 weeks, 4
Yeah.
weeks, you know, at best before the end of the season. So that doesn't seem like that would really be worth the effort. I think if you combine some sort of longer lasting, you know, thing of that where it like carries over into the next season a bit before you have to redo it, and then like Watts said, either some sort of descriptor or a number by it that is public facing,
Yeah.
so people can say it's like your 4th or 5th guild or whatever. I think those are really the only tweaks I could think of that seemed like they would need to be there. Otherwise, I'm not sure the motivation is super going to be there just to have it show up for like a month or whatever.
Yeah, I like I like the color changing. That's great.
Yeah.
Of course, you can't like have it change color every single time. You might run out of colors eventually, or it'll be like, oh, this one is a slightly darker blue, which means you've done it 17 times, whereas this
Yeah.
one is slightly lighter blue, which means you've done it twice. But I would like just put the number on the title. Just
Yeah.
have like the number. So then if you don't want to gild a title that one season, but you've done it 20 times before, it'll still show that, hey, this person's done the flawless seal a lot. Yeah, I think adding a number would be nice.
I think this is all a step in the right direction. You know, like,
Yeah.
giving them giving a hardcore player options to keep on getting seasonal stuff that is basically doing the activities over and over. You know, like this does add to it. It definitely falls short though in a few areas, and because usually you like to collect things that you can then have a look at post season. And even if it was like you were saying, if it was like a title, like Ascendant or, you know, Galactic, whatever, some sort of descriptor on top of being unbroken, you know, like I could see that being more valuable, more desirable.
Galactic Dredgen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for the
Yeah. I don't like that it's
Gilded
going away
Galactic
every season now.
Yeah.
Like you said, I wish it was, because I've already done Conqueror 3 times. So if this was already in place, like I'd have the gilded thing basically, but like
I feel like they should track that.
I want it to track at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it has to track. And I would really like if once you got to a certain rank on a title, there was one cosmetic with it. Just one.
Yeah.
Make it a shader, make it the old Nightfall aura, make it a skin, ornament. Just give me one so I can visually say I did this. Besides, if you're gonna reset that thing, at least give me an ornament or something to continue going for it every season.
Yeah, yeah.
Or a shader or
idea.
something. It has to be something for me to prestige it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now,
Yeah.
my Conqueror from season 10 or whatever is just like someone's Conqueror now. And I've done it all every season, but you don't know that.
Yeah, that
So-
would be nice. Even the option of like now the level next to our name shows our season rank. Having the
Mhm.
option of changing that number to whatever we want to display, whether it's through like the titles or the triumphs, or that could be an option. I don't know how difficult it is to change that. Ideally, I would love to have shaders and emblems that now you can only get by gilding something. That would be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be okay if it was you could only get it during this season and then it's gone?
Can I keep it?
No, yeah, you get it. If you got it during that season, if you gilded that title and you got a shader and an emblem, that's yours, but then you can never get that again if you're a new player from like
FOMO.
4 seasons. Yeah, you know, the FOMO thing kicks in. So
The FOMO thing kicks
I don't know.
in.
There's a limit.
There's like I would rather I'd rather keep the system in place. So no matter when somebody starts, sooner or later they can get that thing. I'd rather that be a thing.
Oh, so like every time you prestige a title, you get like level 2 rewards and then level 3 rewards and
Mhm.
level 4 rewards or something, right?
Yeah. So
And
no
you
matter
can only
like, if a
prestige
new
it once
person
per
misses
season?
out, yeah, you can only prestige it once per season, so you get that in-game seasonal shader, ornament system, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone doesn't do it that season, they just got to get it done the next season to catch up to someone like myself. I don't think they should make it go away because FOMO,
Yeah.
but it should be something in place for them to sooner or later just, if I want to take off a season, cool. If I want to play 6 months straight and catch up and get those 2 seasons that I need for whatever prestigious, flawless shader I want, or Conqueror Unbroken, that should be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it is a step in the right direction. It's better than nothing. But I think they could have done more to start off.
Yeah. Just the gold outline, you know,
That's going away.
that's going away at the end of the season.
Yeah.
It does say at the end here, feedback please, in bold with an exclamation mark. So I think
Yeah,
they're
it
still
does.
open to ideas.
It does also say like these changes are a result of the constructive feedback we've got from all flavors in the Destiny community. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep that feedback coming. So they clearly want everyone's feedback on stuff. So please do
Yeah.
go on Twitter and Reddit and the forums and everything and give your feedback
In my
on.
article tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah, give
Constructive
your feedback. And,
Constructive, please.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't just say this sucks.
Please.
Well,
yes.
why? What do you want? What would you like the
Yeah.
system to be? would be good.
Honestly, it's
yeah,
so
I-
close. It's really close.
It
It's
is.
just,
You don't have to change that much. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
but there's this thing that we've like, at least on this podcast, we've talked quite a bit about wanting things like Call of Duty level prestiging for weapon skins and emblems and stuff like that to make some of those activities have more life in them, for wanting to keep on playing like the Crucible or playing Strikes and all that. And I wish that they would like see, like this is a taste of that, you know, a little nibble. And I wish they would start applying that to other things in the game. Like you got 100,000 kills with this gun, you've unlocked the 100,000 kill skin or ornament for Hawkmoon or something. Like,
Yep.
I know that's a bigger ask because of the amount of ornament development and like reskinning stuff and all that for those skins. So I understand that side of it from a development point of view, but I really wish that the game had more things like that to give you a reason to get stuff
Same.
that isn't just power creep stuff, like the cosmetic stuff for playing the game.
Yeah, I agree. And I want more titles. I want an Iron Banner title. There's no reason it doesn't have one. It's been such a
Very
huge part
It's
of
so
Destiny.
easy. Iron Lord. So easy.
Yeah, just Iron Lord. I know that like you have to do a bunch of stuff to put like the Triumph in there and all that, but like Iron Banner is such a huge part of Destiny. It has been since the beginning, since the beta, that it would be very nice to have an Iron Banner one. I would also want one for like just regularly running strikes and just regular Crucible. you can even just make it kills based. I don't know. But like
Yeah.
having something, there's a lot of players where they just run strikes. That's just their jam. That's what they do. And there's a lot of people that just sit in quick play. That's what they do. And it would be nice for those people to have a title.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
100,000 kills in regular Crucible.
Yeah.
Murderer.
Call yourself a pub stomper. Quick
Pub stomp, yeah.
play, quick- yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. So the only other thing is that there is currently a giveaway happening. You can head to the Bungie store on Twitter, get yourself potentially a signed Beyond Light Collector's Edition, signed by the Bungie team, the Bungie security team.
Is that a mask?
It just
too?
says Bungie security.
Bungie security team, yeah.
They cannot
Bungie
give away their
security
identity.
persons, yeah.
They're sitting and watching you. You can't know who they are. Yeah, there's a bunch of bugs and stuff, but I think you guys can check out the 12 if you
wait.
want to look for known issues.
Who here knew that Harbinger was supposed to have
yes.
voiceover lines? Because I didn't.
Yeah,
Until
so
I read that they were
let's-
missing.
a part of the
Didn't
known
know.
issues section is voiceover lines are not playing during the Harbinger activity.
It's like,
Yeah, there's zero.
I just
It's
thought
not-
that's how it was.
There's probably a whole freaking story we're missing in that mission.
Yeah. When are
So
they
I'll
fixing
definitely
that?
run it when that gets fixed because I
Yeah.
want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
And that is about it. They do bring up Joe Blackburn's tweet. If people didn't see his tweet, because maybe you don't go on Twitter, he said, "Last year I said Destiny's best days are ahead. Seeing what's coming, I believe this more than ever. But we have work to do to get there. 2021 is going to be a little different for Destiny, taking some time to validate our plans, but expect a State of Destiny 2021 next season. So I'm sure that's when we'll hear about the larger things that have been an issue recently."
Cool.
I think that's a very big line he says that when he says 2021 is going to be a little different for Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't want to say worrisome, but I'm really curious how the rest of the year is going to play
It's a
out.
transition year.
Yeah, it does
We're
exactly.
definitely gonna hear that phrase.
Yeah.
Mm.
I definitely did think that as well. It's like, does that mean that this year is going to be, which a lot of people have said that they would prefer if Bungie just kind of takes a year of being a little more chill to create a better plan with better
Yep.
seasons and more stuff in it. So we'll see.
Should we
We
do
will
some
see.
Twitter questions?
We shall. We don't have Briar, so keep in mind this will be scuffed Twitter
Yep.
questions.
This is
But- maybe
Hipfire
maybe 100% 100% uptick in eating Briar questions.
yes.
No, that's the trade-off.
I got a question here from Spez. He says, Spez says, "What is your gaming guilty pleasure?"
Side note, real quick, I played in Crucible today with someone called Ganyu as my waifu, and it made me very happy.
Was it you? Was that?
No, I
It
was
you.
called just a weebin, and I tried to talk to them in all chat. So if you're out there, Ganyu is my waifu. We love you.
So your answer is Genshin
Yeah,
Impact. is
Genshin
that-
Impact's your
Well,
guilty
so I was
pleasure.
thinking my guilty pleasure is spending entirely too much money on Genshin Impact. Yeah,
I think that's a legit good games. I wouldn't even call
It
that a
is,
guilty
yeah.
pleasure.
it is a good game. It's a very good game.
All right, I'll go.
Guilty
I don't know.
I don't play this game a bunch or anything like that, but I streamed it once. Dream Daddy was surprisingly
Yeah.
good.
Ah.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be good.
It was
Daddy
kind
is
of a
good.
guilty pleasure. I was like, man, this is actually I'm digging this game.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
I'd
there
say
you
my
go.
guilty pleasure is Cyberpunk because I rip on it so much and I rag on CDPR's response and the launch is horrible. So many things are horrible, and yet fundamentally I really enjoy playing it most of the time still. And I just find myself just dicking around doing a bunch of random stuff that I find enjoyable. I'm on my third V at this point.
Third
I
playthrough?
didn't beat it with my second one because I just got bored with insta killing
nice.
everything with hacking. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm looking forward to new patches and as much as it got screwed up, there's still, I think, a bunch of enjoyable stuff to do in it. So
I agree. Actually, there's a lot to enjoy in Cyberpunk, even though it's got so many problems.
oh yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head of a gaming guilty. I know I have some, but there's none that's just coming right to my head. I'm sure I'd have something though.
I maybe feel a little embarrassed when I say I play League of Legends, you know?
A little shame.
There's a slight little bit of shame there in the background. I'm like, yeah.
It's like the biggest game on earth.
I know. It's the biggest
Fair
game on
enough.
earth, but everyone's like, we hate this game. Everyone hates the game. No
Everyone's
one
guilty
likes it.
pleasure.
It's everyone's guilty pleasure.
The globe's collective guilty
They can't
pleasure.
get away. Oh, I gotta ask this question from Vodus. Recently found out that Briar Rabbit wears silver-lined underwear. What other piece of information do you wish you didn't know?
The Crocs. That's
That
The Crocs? That's the thing you pick out of all the things we've heard? Dear Lord.
oh well. Okay, just about Briar or anybody.
I don't know. I mean, we're
It's
free to
anything.
just rip on Briar if you want to. He's not here. He can't defend himself.
Nah, if I
He's
was gonna
sick.
roll, if I was
He's
gonna roll
sick in
through,
bed. We can bully him.
if I was gonna roll through all of the podcast shows, probably the Mama Bird story from Holtz.
Yeah.
I would erase that, and then Bacon Baby would be a close second.
But they're just so funny.
They're hilarious and nauseating.
I can kind of guess what Mama Bird is about. I have no idea what Bacon Baby's
Would
about.
it surprise you if it was about 3D Doritos?
A little bit, yeah.
yeah.
Oh god, just thinking about
Apparently-
telling it makes me sick.
Apparently, Patrick's gonna do a recreation on stream because the 3D Doritos have come back.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're back.
Recreate. Think about that. Mama Bird story. Recreation. 3D
In
Doritos.
2021. 4K.
2021. Yeah, I would
that's probably a
definitely.
big one we could pass on. Bacon Baby was hilarious. Bacon Baby was like a doll that for an art project, someone that Patrick like roommate was or something wrapped it in bacon and put it in the fridge, and he opened it and was like,
There's a bacon,
Bacon
baby.
Baby. And then he had to transport it, and it was getting very hot, and then it was stinky.
Yeah, it became a thing where they were like, we're keeping the
Yeah.
bacon baby in the fridge.
We're keeping the Bacon Baby
I was like,
around. I don't know why.
How do you make these decisions?
Art majors.
Drugs.
Ah, okay, that's why.
It's an
Let's
emote.
see.
If you want to see it? There's an emote picture
Yes.
of it at least.
Bacon baby is in there.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a question right now.
Oh god, that's the
That-
scariest
that's
emote I've
Bacon
ever
Baby.
seen.
I got one from Doughboy. Also says, I agree with weapons sunsetting must be a thing, but I believe a year is too short of a time to have with a weapon. How long should it be, and should the cutoff happen every fall instead of every season?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't like it going away after every season because now every season's about like, okay, what 20 weapons are we losing this time? And so like even if we're getting new stuff, it's just every single season now is about what you're losing to, which has never been the case before. In terms of how long it should be, at least for this time, it definitely felt like we should still be having all the weapons from Shadowkeep, like that era, and Undying, like
Yeah, I
all
feel
of
that
the,
too.
you know, not that those are all like top tier weapons or anything, but like those should have stayed around. Like it should be like 2 expansions worth of weapons and not cutting that huge of a chunk out with that whole, you know, part of the fall.
Yeah, I agree. It is weird that the Shadowkeep stuff is gone, and then suddenly
it's
some of it's
back.
coming back next season. Yeah, it's like,
Some of it.
huh?
4 weapons.
Yeah,
2 years seems to be a solid number, I think, because that gives you 2 expansions to go through.
hmm
Mhm.
And then even if you start losing loot, there's still by then enough new loot coming out. Even if they were to bring out like 10 to 15 guns a season, even if you lose 2 years worth, I would hope by then you have enough stuff with the new expansion and just stuff that has come out by then to kind of help keep that number a little bit higher than what we currently have. So I guess we lost what 60% of our weapons. We only got like maybe 20% back. Maybe we can get that more to 50-50 over years. So maybe they just sunset every other expansion. I think that's better than what they, I don't want to say currently did, but I guess going down the future, just sunset every 2 years.
Yeah. Having to keep track every season is kind of exhausting.
Yeah.
Mentally. Like, I mean, obviously you can just look at your loot and see when it's expiring, but it's weird trying to juggle that equation in your head. Be like, this is going in 3 seasons. This is going next season. This is 2 seasons. Like, a little weird.
Well, and then it's getting even weirder now, where it's like if you could have raid loot that didn't sunset from like Last Wish, but then you run it again and you get a different drop. Somehow it's got like an extra season now, even if it's the same thing. Like it's getting really confusing and weird. And then stuff's being reissued, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Kind of weird.
I have a question from Rock Leo, who I definitely want to hear Dan's opinion on this. You're allowed to redesign one raid encounter from the ground up if you want to. Which one do you think deserves it most? Doesn't even have to be like a complete redesign. Just maybe if there's something that you would like added to an encounter, or anything.
I guess my default answer, which is kind of boring, is definitely Riven.
I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
Just put a "You shall not pass" thing by joining allies. Just put it right there so people can't go there. But I think if I were to the most recent one I wish they would have redone was the Descent encounter in Deepstone Crypt. It feels like there's 2 mechanics being left out, where you're fighting Taniks on the ship with the ship crashing, especially when you drop down after you've deposited all the nukes. You drop down and you have that running to the air space pod thing. I've always said that it would have been kind of more cool if you had to bring 2 or 3 nukes down, because there's some structures down there that looks like it could have been nuke depositing stations or something. Would have been cool if you needed to bring 2 of them down, 3 of them down, and you had to juggle them between the 6 people. Had to make sure scanner was down there to tell you where to deposit them. I thought that could have been cool. That's the most recent one I've thought of. But my default answer is always just Riven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I would like an encounter where I get to actually like go in space. Like you guys are messing around in the space station. You got to send someone out to space, which is why I was kind of excited when we realized the door opened and I had the baby. Don't worry about it. And Fran closed the door, and I was like, "Okay, I'm going to space, guys." And I was like, "Oh wait, I'm dead. Never mind." So I was kind of excited to be put in airlock. Yeah, no.
It was exciting to see that. But yeah, be in space during an actual encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. I would probably do the Crown of Sorrows first encounter. I don't know what you're going to do with it. Just do something, because I actually really like Crown. I like the final fight of Crown, the fact that you have to juggle everyone. Everyone's got to do something. Everyone's got a job. You got to be on top of a bunch of different things. But the first encounter in Crown of Sorrows is just so long and not difficult that you're
so
just
bad.
kind of like...
It's like 2 phases too many, right?
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah, I was actually going to say Crown once Riven got taken. I'll switch to the Sparrow encounter in DSC now that they are patching out the Infinite. There is another one that you can get Infinite now, but I'm not going to talk about it so it doesn't get patched. But once they close all those loopholes, like I don't love like Sparrow based things to begin with, and then adding like that crazy like low timer and then like going up all these cliffs and like you can't see anything, and that's going to be a nightmare to have to do legit. So I would just redesign that.
Yeah.
Yep. I think I'm going to stick with Riven. Only I'm going to change the thing. I'm going to change it so instead of insta wiping by shooting the wrong eye, there's like a threshold. It's like 3 wrong eyes and then it's wipe, but not the first one, because I think it's really annoying that you can accidentally shoot the wrong eye, or have like a shield bounce off of an enemy that goes then all the way up and hits an eye and wipes the encounter. I think that's annoying. And every time she opens her face too, so like refreshes. You know, I'd change that.
And put her in a bikini. Next question.
Bikini ribbon. Keith Gunrunner 48 says there's been a lot of really good Bernie memes. What are some of your favorites?
Oh, I know my favorite, because this one I is the only one that I like shared because I just had to. It was where Bernie was in the Skyrim scene.
I was gonna say that.
It's because the color correction is done really well, so he just looks amazing in there and so cute. He looks cute in Skyrim.
That one's pretty great.
My whole feed was Bernie memes.
Yeah, let me just consult my tweet I made that said, giving you 4 more hours of Bernie memes, and then I'm calling it, to which people responded with like 30,000 Bernie memes for me. So yeah, I have the Skyrim one in here. Him where he's Bran in Game of Thrones sitting down.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that one was great.
Yeah.
Bernie the Broken.
Yep.
Great.
The one with Guy Fieri, which I guess Guy Fieri himself made. So that's a bit of a bonus.
Going to Flavor Town? Shut up, nerd. We're going to Flavor Town.
Yeah, there's an infinite amount of these. So.
Yeah, lo-fi beats with
Lo-fi
Bernie
one's
on the
really good.
subway wearing headphones. That was great.
I saw Randy Pitchford tweeted adding a new Vault Hunter to Borderlands. I was like, huh? And then I opened it up. And they did the cell shading to make Bernie look like he's sitting on the bus in Borderlands 1 as one of the characters
That's
to pick.
amazing.
That's pretty great.
I think my favorite was Mass Effect, but that's just kind of a Mass Effect nerd with the elusive man. I thought that was really good.
That was good.
That's great.
But I think that was more just me just being, oh my god, Mass Effect than the Bernie meme. So
That was a great day. It was a whole day of just Bernie memes. There was nothing else. Nothing else existed. And you know what? I was happy about
Not the actual inauguration, nothing. Just
no,
Bernie.
Bernie. Bernie stole the show with
took
his
off like that. Just like a wild.
And then they interviewed him about it. He's like, I was very glad to be able to promote Vermont Mittens. All right.
He's good.
One of them was like, for like 8:30 a.m. dry cleaning, 11 a.m. Joe's thing, 3 p.m. drop off mail. Go to the post office. It was his to-do list for that day.
I'm just gonna stop by this real quick. Just pop my head in.
Yeah.
Just make an appearance.
Gotta go do Joe's thing real quick.
Yeah.
I have a question from Wayne, who says, not including your current one, what has been your favorite place of employment and what did you do there? Or do you hate them all? That's okay too.
Favorite place. I have some unfavorite places.
Okay, let's do that. What's your worst place?
The worst is probably door-to-door sales for Comcast, because like nobody wants to see Comcast in the first place, much less unsolicited. Best was probably Abercrombie, just because it was such a goofy ass work environment. Like no one took anything seriously there, and showing up on time made you like employee of the month, and like it was, I don't know, it was a fun high school job. Not really past that.
I think mine is from, which ages me, I guess, but when I was in college, I worked at Blockbuster.
Nice.
So like I was able to play all the games and watch all the movies, but like
That's great.
Nice.
for free
Yeah.
as a college student was really nice at like 20. So that's probably like my most fond memory. And the worst was kind of similar to Paul's, but I didn't do door-to-door sales I did what was it, Direct TV.
Oh.
But it wasn't door-to-door. It was like one of those people that were in the Best Buys. So my job was just, one of my jobs was just to stand there. People would go to the TV section and I'd be like, hey, you're buying a TV? You want cable, right? And then I'd try to sell, So
Love approaching strangers.
pretty rough.
I'm always trying to avoid those guys at like
Everyone
Costco.
tried to like just,
Yeah.
not look tunnel vision, don't look at you. So that was my worst one. But my most fond is definitely from a time of old that's never gonna ever come again. Was
That's
the whole
interesting.
Be
Like,
Kind Rewind era.
that is a great job to
Yeah.
like start out and be going to college or something, or going to high school and like
Yeah,
have access to a bunch of games on it. That just doesn't exist today.
yeah.
Right?
I don't know how people get all their games when they're in college. I had to work there to get the games that I played then. It helped me play Mass Effect, Skyrim, anything from like the 2008 to 12.
Mhm.
I only was able to play it because I was in college and I just worked at the Blockbuster place.
Mhm. Yeah.
Saved
I
my
play way
life.
too many video games in college.
Yeah.
Too many.
I had one where I was hired to be like front of house at a pizza Indian place. They served both pizza and Indian food. Both were pretty great,
Got
not gonna lie. They did both well.
That's good.
Indian cuisine and a
and-
Pizza Hut.
Yeah. They quickly realized that I was real bad at having to talk to strangers. So I ended up just washing dishes. And honestly, I much preferred it. I could just sit there in the back on my own. No one's bothering me. Give me the dishes. I'll wash them. I'll put them out. It's great. Leave me alone. It's a good time.
That's great.
Yeah.
My favorite job, I got to work a warehouse for like a year, and I was managing the inventory, and like I'd get to roll up with the forklift, throw a bunch of carpet pad rolls on there, and then like go and dump them in different bins and all that. And that was actually pretty awesome. Got a good workout from it too, because I have to like pick up these heavy rolls, But like the fact that I could just load a bunch on there and try to like get my best and then try not to break anything. There was this one time where I really screwed up. I had a pallet of glue very high. Yeah, I actually thinking about this was really bad, but somehow I didn't get fired.
The Looney Tunes cartoon.
Oh,
I had a pallet of glue maxed out at the top. I was putting it onto the top shelf, and I must have gotten distracted, and I spun it, and it fell, and it hit, and then there was glue everywhere. And yeah, I didn't get fired for that. They were like, "Oh, let's get it cleaned up." It's like, okay. It was kind of awesome at the same time. Yeah.
What sucks is I did that too.
Did you? You
But
spilled a pallet of glue?
No. I worked at Home Depot warehouse,
Okay.
and the same thing happened to me, but with paint.
Oh no.
So I stacked it about 7 feet high.
Probably worse.
It was like the shrink wrapped it, but apparently I didn't shrink wrap it well enough.
Mm-hmm.
Got on the little the thing.
Lefty's like,
Started to
I know,
move
I
it.
know.
No, this the same thing.
This is the same
shrink
thing.
wrap, like, yeah.
And I didn't get fired, but basically for the next 2 days, all I did was clean paint. I
Yeah.
had to clean it.
Fair
I'm
trade.
not gonna fire you, but you better clean it up.
Oh boy.
So I went, as you told the story, I knew exactly where it was going because I had a flashback with myself.
Oh man, that's funny thinking back to that.
Um,
I got a question from Ryan. Says, question for all: what part of Destiny do you know so well that you could successfully argue it on Firing Range? Firing Range is another podcast here on DCP that it gets very technical.
Literally nothing that the firing range guys would not know better than I do. That would just be like, well, no, actually, we did some cone research in my Excel spreadsheet science experiment, and you are incorrect. And I would just be like, all right, well, I don't know.
What about Fashion
don't-
Game?
Oh, maybe. I do have the fashion emblem.
Yeah, I was gonna say fashion too. It was like shaders, quiz me on shaders, ornaments.
Standards. I can teach you to not just wear black, white, red.
And
Not
blue.
Shaders.
Too
Do
many
you
of those.
Do you think there's kind of a set style for a lot of Crucible players that they kind of need to break out from?
There is. They wear the
Yeah?
same cape. You can instantly identify how sweaty a hunter is. Are they wearing the Iron Banner cape, the one that actually looks good? Are they wearing stompies? And is the shader black? Sweaty. Leave the game instantly. You see them running, sprinting across, just leave. Just go find another game. It's not even worth it.
They need like a a renovation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, black shaders, it looks great, but I'm just saying it's not creative. You can throw on a bunch of shaders that just look good because they just look fine, but it's not creative. Branch out.
Branch out.
You're not gonna win the fashion emblem just wearing all black.
That's because Bungie did definitely pick a lot of black, white, monochrome.
Oh yeah. The hot
We
topic
won
phase.
because we were acolytes. I was dressed as an acolyte.
Yeah, it was that one. I was dressed as a bird. That's how I won mine. But now I need the new one.
New England stuff. Yeah.
I have a question that will make you question your entire life from Merc Gamer.
Okay.
Aren't we all remade content?
Wow.
If you factor in Stardust, then yes.
It's very Buddhist, but sure.
So now you can't complain about remade content because you are it too. So
We're all just reskins.
we're all
We
reskins.
all just gonna be sunset eventually.
It's
Oh.
true.
Man, this is getting deep.
Heading into the great vault of the universe.
That was got dark real quick.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm looking for a question.
We could go with this one from James Carey, who said, "What has been your favorite set of armor in D2 so far?"
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin?
You
My
might need to
Pumpkin
explain
Titan.
the pumpkin. don't you?
Pumpkin Titan came from, it was Eater of Worlds actually.
Oh, that.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
I know exactly.
But there was a specific, I think it was called Vanguard Unity, which had a construction or like a safety zone orange look to it. And it just, it was pumpkin through and through. My Titan was, pumpkin. And then the cutscenes, sometimes you'd have like just pumpkin sitting in the back, and Anna Bray was like talking deep stuff about Rasputin. It was great. Definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard though. Sometimes I break it down to like individual pieces. Like I really like the Torval mask for Titans, but that's not even a set. Or like the Scorn Baron robes for Warlock, but that's not a set either. I mean, obviously the DSC armor is really good. A lot of the ornament sets have been pretty fantastic. For Warlocks, the Hunt set this season is really good.
That's true.
The Season of Dawn armor, the Knight armor that was a good era, I thought, with those ornaments.
That was cool. The thing I like about that is that the glows on the armor take the different colors. So that's always been really cool, mixing like the solstice armor and trying to match that color exactly with other glowing armor.
Yep. Forge armor, that was a really good one. I love all the Forge sets, which you can obviously no longer get, but maybe they'll reissue those.
Maybe.
I think my default. I really like the Leviathan Warlock armor, especially Prestige. I don't know why. I just always really like that, and even now I still wear it on my Warlock sometimes, just for nostalgia. I think that's the one I normally go for is Prestige Leviathan Warlock.
Are those your tower robes? Tower casuals?
Yes. That's
casual.
That's my when I'm just walking around grabbing bounties or just doing strikes, and I don't care about stats. I'm wearing that armor set.
Nice.
I don't really have a full favorite armor set, but my favorite cape is, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it's the one that goes super low with the hood, and it's one of the Halloween capes.
Oh, the first Halloween one with like the
It
scarecrow
unfortunately
set.
has the yellow on the back that you can't shade,
That was
but
the worst.
which sucks. I hate it. Stop doing that, please. Even like the Deep Stone Crypt cape, you can't get rid of the red. So that's annoying. Stop it. But yeah, that cape, I just like the look of it. You can make some like really creepy looking guardians, which there's not a lot of armor that you can create like this very spooky look. I like it.
Nice. Next up, Sith Assassin says, do you guys think random roll exotics are coming in the future? Also, do you think Bungie would sunset current exotics only to reissue them later with random rolls?
Second question, no.
I hope not.
It's too hard to balance if they keep doing this. You can't design like a true exotic and then always allow for random rolls. Like I think they had a really specific idea in mind with Hawkmoon. I
Yeah.
don't think this is a really like a future ploy to like make farming exotics more interesting. I would be very surprised if we started seeing a lot of exotics with random rolls. Maybe a couple more, but I wouldn't imagine that's going to be like the standard. Like some of these, like how would you even do random rolls on like Leviathan's Breath or something? You know what I mean? Like some exotics just aren't, built for that in the first place. So
Yeah, I think the issue with Hawkmoon was that it had the RNG stuff to it, and Bungie fundamentally don't want that kind of thing on their weapons. So they had to do something. If they're bringing back Hawkmoon, they had to do something different, and this is what they did with it. So I would be very surprised if we started seeing it.
Do you think this is the only one?
I think
I
so.
think it's not one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I could totally
Makes
see
it
them.
unique.
I could totally see them doing another gun in the future. Not what we already have, but like a new exotic that's taking the same approach of having some random rolls through a specific mission to be able to get variants of it. I could see that becoming a thing, not like a common thing, but like, oh, next year there was a gun that was like this that has a secret mission that you can get different rolls of.
I just don't know if the balancing work would be worth it. Like, I don't know. I mean, like I got like one pretty good Hawkmoon and like I'm probably done like actually farming Hawkmoons now. So I don't know how much they want to sink into that idea because like balancing all those perks is probably on an exotic you're never going to sunset. That's a lot of work. So
Yeah,
I could see them doing it with like one or two more weapons, like you said though.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you create an exotic, I don't think you would ever, if they started doing that, any exotic that comes out like that wouldn't be one of those like special exotics that they've been making recently. And Bungie has, like, for all the things that have been wrong, like the exotic weapons have been really creative, and I love the route that they're going with it. And if you bring in random rolls on it, there's very little you can do in terms of creativity of new exotics. So I don't think it's something that they'll lean on. Like you said, like maybe they'll bring a new weapon and it's like, hey, this exotic can have random rolls, and maybe, but I wouldn't expect it to be anywhere near the norm for exotics.
Yeah, agree. Do you guys ever see them potentially sunsetting an exotic?
No.
They talked about it when they were first brought up sunsetting, but I gotta feel like that is not the plan anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine how that would be received now with all the
It would be
the current
bad,
problems with
for sure.
sunsetting. But
Do you think
this has always been kind of the weird issue
Yeah.
though, because like even if they've been sunsetting like problematic weapons to get rid of them, like some of the obvious pinnacles, like the stuff that's replaced them has mostly been exotics. Like now everyone's complaining about like Arbalest and Crucible on console and things like that. So there's still just tons and tons of weapons that have the potential to be overpowered indefinitely. So I don't really know if sunsetting even created like less work for them the way they wanted it to. So I would be amazed if they went through with sunsetting exotics now.
Yeah.
No, that's actually a really good thought and point. It's like, I wonder if sunsetting really did what they wanted it to do from a development point of view and create more possibilities, or is it created more issues with having to get rid of certain ones and having to refill the void of what's missing? Like, I wonder.
I think it made it worse, like you said.
Yeah.
They got rid of a bunch of stuff and they didn't have enough to fill just the weapon pool back up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, and now they're like, but now we gotta hire more people, goddamn. So that seems like more work.
Yeah, like instead
maybe
of
we should just sunset pinnacles.
Yep, that seems like the plan in hindsight.
Yeah. Most of your problem weapons were pinnacles, so
They
they were.
were, yeah.
I mean, like this season, like look at the weapons that are being sunset now, like for next season. It's like all the Season to Dawn weapons, and like what among those is really like a problem weapon, or like is going to be some massive balancing issue. I can see like getting into like I could see getting into like Warmind cells and things. Like, okay, maybe you want to sunset the concept of Warmind cells eventually, but like these individual weapons, I don't get it.
my Steel Feather and Martyr's Retribution, or whatever it's called. I'll miss those. Those have been a lot of fun. I like those weapons.
You can't use them. Sorry.
Yeah, they'll be gone next season.
until they reissue them in Witch Queen.
Yeah.
Silver lining.
With all the same perks plus killing wind and surplus.
Oh man. I got another question here.
Okay.
Veritas Otis 52 says, "You just finished a Briar burger, gluten free, obviously, and you let out a big belch. What does it smell like?"
Battered beer, burger, meat, briar. Definitely beer. There's definitely beer in there somewhere.
Yeah.
There's no way there's no beer.
A lot of hops and oats and
I
stuff.
feel like briar is already beer battered. Just straight up comes beer battered.
pre-basted with beer.
Naturally.
Bag of dicks candy.
Also
Oh my
true.
God.
Maybe that's the bun, you know.
Hmm.
Good to heap.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with beer.
Beer is the easy choice. It smells like sea shanties and salt water.
Yeah. Hey, isn't there a new? There's like a season coming out for Sea of Thieves.
There is, yeah.
I wonder what's going on with that.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Sea of Thieves, I think, has been kind of killing it.
They
Just
have been.
doing their thing.
Yeah.
I see them adding new content all the time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a pretty big community.
Time to capitalize.
All right.
Time to become pirates.
Time to become pirates, yes. What do you think? One more question?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do one more. Let's do one from Obi. Do you think trials would benefit from a tier system? 12 tiers that are grouped into a bracket of 3 tiers. So tier 1, 2, and 3 play together. Then you advance to the next bracket of 4, 5, and 6, and so forth. So this would, I guess, stop you from being on like your second game and you have someone on their flawless game.
Yeah.
Anything that makes me play less flawless people, I am in favor of. So yes, sure.
Trials is in a bad state. Like if you look at the stats on PC, it's pretty obvious that the most of the people that are going flawless are recovs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's a pretty
And
bad
you know,
state.
like whatever you think about recovs, ultimately it's just not good to have less people and less variation of players in the playlist. It's just not good.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of things need to change.
I feel like that's the main crux of that solution is that if you don't have enough people in the playlist, then that solution falls apart. If there's plenty of people playing trials, then it's actually a great solution. I think it works out really well. But during the the only recov time, it's strictly recovs part of the season. Like then it's really rough to have that kind of variety in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but trials in general is it's not what it was back in like 2015.
Problem is like that's where all their PvP energy has been focused too.
It was a huge part. Yeah, we've got like new trials armor coming next season.
Oh god, I forgot
the
about
adept
that.
weapons, but trials is just the thing with trials, this is a tangent, but the thing with trials is that the problem will always be that there's not enough just regular folks going into the playlist, and no amount of loot that you add to trials is going to make them deal with the disgusting awfulness that is trials. It is not fun because right now you either essentially, so you can get some loot on your way to the lighthouse, but for people who have already hit that 3 win or done the bounty or the 5 and they are then just trying to go flawless, the only payoff is flawless, which for a lot of people feels extremely unobtainable. So ultimately, they need to find a way to get more people in the playlist. More people of being like, this is a useful time sink for me. I'm going to get something out of it. Because right now, it's just, you can play for 6 hours, you won't go flawless, and guess what? You got a gun. Nice. Great.
Yeah, it's great. Like speaking as a very low tier player, it's wild to like I'll go for the bounty and it's like I can spend a couple hours to get one thing and like I'm not even getting like end of match drops. Like there's nothing. Nothing. Like because they took away tokens from losses because I guess I don't even remember why people were farming losses or something to get I don't know.
People were just like leaving, but hey, if I'm trying to go flawless and you just jumping off the edge, all right, sure.
Yeah, it's very like there is no if you're not winning like constantly, there is no less rewarding thing you can like actively do in Like you could be running like nightmare hunts and get more loot than you could running trials, which is wild.
We have to remember that in D1 there was a whole other armor set that you got from just playing trials. It was an end of match reward, so you didn't have to go flawless to get that
Forgot
armor. You
about
didn't
that.
have to do a bounty. It just dropped. We don't have that. We have one armor set that you have to get to wins, or you have to go flawless. There was emblems that you could get from just playing trials. There was like guns that you could get for just playing. Like there's a lot of that is missing. So people are like, you gotta add more loot. You gotta add better loot. Loot is not the problem with trials. The no amount of loot is going to make your average player who likes to do strikes go into trials on the weekend. It's just not gonna happen.
Or LFG for it.
You need to make it more accessible.
I've always said matchmaking. I think that is the biggest barrier to player population, and I get so much pushback on that. But if you want a player population, that is the only way you're going to get it is having matchmaking as a baseline.
Honestly,
at least in like part of the playlist.
Honestly, a freelance trials playlist could be successful.
I'm not going to rule that out.
Yeah,
They can try a lot of things at this point. They need to do something.
They do. That is
Just
the thing.
try it all and see what does. Just see what works at this point.
Because it feels like if you go in right now, it's just like you said, it's a bunch of recovs. So you end up running into those people more often than not. And unless you're trying to be the best ever, it's not fun for just like jumping in and casually playing some trials or something. But a freelance playlist, you lose the friend aspect, going in as a team and like having fun, just getting some kills. But you could potentially have more population in there, more people trying it at least.
I mean, you could still play with your friends. Like nothing's stopping you. Like they can, it doesn't have to be all freelance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough solution because I think ultimately there's a lot of things missing from trials that was in D1 that incentivize people to just hop in and see what happens. Currently, there's no reason to just hop in and see what happens. Even if you are an above average Crucible player, you are going to be struggling to go flawless unless you're playing with the sweatiest of sweaty friends.
Yeah.
So,
It's too bad. I also think it's partly because the options for PvP experiences in 2020, 2021 is just night and day from 2015. Trials was a new experience. It was like wow, I can't believe this exists now. Haven't seen anything like this on a console specifically. And now it's it's another option from a bunch of great PvP games that you can play in 2021.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Honestly,
They're
the
all pretty
population in
games.
general is really low at the moment, and trials is going to be even lower than that. I think I play against the same people just every day. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks left in the season. It'll tick up a little bit soon.
There you go.
I think crossplay will help with like player population issues,
that would help.
and hopefully when they add new armor, people will be like, "Oh, well, it's 3 win. I can go get the armor." I still think they need to change something. They need to do something to get people in the playlist. But I'm hoping with the new armor, maybe more people will go in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at least curious to see what it looks like. I didn't
Yeah.
even finish my old sets, but
Not worth the pain.
well, now
It's
with,
a lot of pain.
now with transmog,
What?
I guess it's more valuable. So
It's a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, on that note,
Podcast of pain.
ending on trials somehow.
Welcome to the podcast of pain.
oh man, let's end actually one more question. James
Yeah,
Carey
give us a
says,
silly one.
"How many? It's not silly, but how many
Okay.
of you have gotten Eyes of Tomorrow so far?"
Nope.
Nope. I haven't really
That's
rated
only
that
on
much.
like 5 or 6 clears.
Dan
but-
deserves it, though.
Just me, I guess. That's okay.
Yeah, but it took you what, like 40 something. So.
Dan got to witness 40 some Eyes of Tomorrow's drop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to witness
Yeah.
about 40
Okay.
something before I got.
Yeah. So we earned it.
Yeah, Yeah, I know. I swear there just isn't bad luck protection. I think Dan's
I
right.
don't
think
think so.
No, no,
Yeah, I don't think so
There's
either.
no way.
Yeah.
nope.
All right. Well, on that note, that is DCP episode number 222. The Dan's the only one who's got Eyes of Tomorrow episode.
Yeah.
Dan, thanks for being on the show, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I loved being on. It was a pleasure. Thanks.
Awesome. Where
Yeah,
can people
thank
find you?
so much.
You can find me on Twitch at EpicDan22. You can find me on Twitter at EpicDan22 as well. There is a YouTube, but it's really just for highlights at this point. But that's also EpicDan22.
Cool. And when do you stream? What's your schedule?
Pretty much every day.
Cool.
Generally around 9 Central. And then just overnight.
There you go. If you want to get some
Nice.
raids in, go
Yeah.
hit up Dan.
Yeah, go get some raids in with someone who you know is not gonna yell at you or kick
Oh,
you
yeah.
out or just gonna be like, hey, yeah, go stand there and like shoot some things. You can actually learn the raid properly. Which
I
is huge.
actually do that. I teach them and then I sit in the corner.
I'm gonna sit here. You show me what you learned.
hmm
That's awesome, man. Cool. Paul, where can people find you, man?
I'm at Paul Tassi on Twitter. You can Google me for my daily Destiny articles I write every day. Been doing YouTube lately, Destiny videos there, so you can find me there. And I wrote some books on Amazon you can check out if you want.
Awesome.
Nice. I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
And I'm Teft. You can talk to me at Teft. You can catch streams, twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. I've been off streams lately. I have been focusing on some YouTube content, which is definitely different from the usual. But it's been good getting back into that phase and doing video production again. So I do have a YouTube channel that I never promote until now. So
There you go.
if you search Tefty, there'll be a YouTube channel you can find on there. And there's also a music channel as well that's been growing. So shout out to all of our Patreon members that support the podcast. Thank you very much, guys. And shout out to our Twitch subs, anybody gifting subs and all that. Very, very kind, guys. We appreciate all the support on the show. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next
Thank
time.
you so much, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.